Good evening and welcome. Tonight we will be going over the history and geography of Barinas in Venezuela. As much as I type, Google Earth won't let me put in Barinas state so you could clearly see the borders. But let me zoom out a bit so you can see the very faint borders here. Barinas. Up here. It's hard to see, isn't it? Can you see it? I hope so. Keep typing in Barinas state, and all it gives me is the city of the same name, which is, of course, the capital city. But let's start by zooming out even more so you can see exactly where we are in the world. Here is Venezuela. It is in northern South America. And you can see it's very close to Colombia. Up here's the Caribbean, Central America. So there are two very distinct areas geographically in Barinas state. And I want to point out this one first. The mountainous area, which is just along the border of the state. You can see, here's the border. So it gets quite mountainous right around here. This mountain range is technically the Cordillera de Merida. You can see Merida's right there. And it is technically a branch of the Andes Mountains. So if we go way out, the world's longest mountain chain, coming up here, goes through here, and in Colombia it branches into three big long branches. So this is the easternmost, I want to say the Oriental, and the longest heading up here into Venezuela. So technically part of the Andes. It is here where on the other end you'll find Pico de Bolivar, the highest point in Bolivia, but sadly not in the state that we're talking about tonight, but part of the Sierra Nevada National Park. Kind of bleeds over the border into Barinas state. So let's take a look at this beautiful landscape here. It kind of reminds me of the Peruvian Andes a bit, with all the vegetation, but kind of has almost a Rocky Mountain feel to it. It's like if you just put a bunch of Andean plants in the Rocky Mountains up in like Banff or something. Ave Maria. There on the mountaintop. See what I mean? Quite rocky, but very beautiful nonetheless. Very gorgeous mountain range. All these cool and quirky plants. And beautiful snow-capped, clouded peaks there, and beautiful valleys and cable cars taking you up to the viewpoints here. Very foggy day on top of this mountain because of all of these clouds. They get a clear view, and he's very excited to be at that lake, isn't he? It's a very beautiful little corner of the state, because the rest of it essentially is part of the Llanos, which we talked about in extreme detail when we talked about Apure state, which is just to the south here. Apure and Barinas were once one big state. They split up after Venezuela separated from Gran Colombia in the 1830s, and the 1840s, and that kind of chaotic political shuffling. I'll link my Venezuela playlist up there so you can learn more about it. And let's see, what is the Llanos? The Llanos, I would translate that, if you're American, to be like the prairie, kind of the grassy, like lots of vegetation, but very sparse, kind of wet, kind of hilly, not mountainous, and perfect for ranching. So Barinas, along with Apure, is the ranching section of Venezuela. There is some farming as well, and in fact, Barinas became very popular during its colonial history because of its farming industries, in particular tobacco, which apparently the finest tobacco was grown here in Barinas, and it was very desired in the 16th and 17th century until that industry started to tank a bit. And the pesky British colonies up north were growing a bunch too. Also, cacao was very popular here as well. But today it is mostly cattle ranching and a bit of petroleum as well. Not so much as on the coast, of course, which is one of the most petroleum-heavy regions of the world. But nonetheless, there is industry here for that. There is still tobacco farming. There is still lots of farming of basic staple crops, but mostly ranching. There's a finca over here. No pictures. That's unfortunate. A finca is like a eco lodge, like a living farm that you can visit and stay at. So here's Barinas. I guess we'll just look at the slideshow. I should turn off the everything filter. You don't need to see all these gas stations and stuff. Let's just check out the main slideshow here for the town. See what we've got. A beautiful waterfront here because many rivers meet up here in Barinas. Or nearby at least. Many rivers flow through. The Orinoco is nearby, like one of the main rivers of Venezuela. You saw the Apure River marks the southern border. Is that Simon himself? Kind of looks like Simon. In San Francisco, we have a statue of Simon Bolivar. He kind of looks like that. That could be Simon. I could be wrong, though. This, is that beautiful? Goodness. This was one of the hot spots during the Independence Revolution, but not so much as up near Caracas and Maracaibo and all of that. Beautiful, isn't that gorgeous? So, in Barinas, you kind of get the best of both worlds of the state. You get the ranching fields and you have the beautiful mountains in the background. Ooh, pretty car. Let's see. Looks like an airport. At least, I don't know. It's giving airport. Oh, that's a great picture. Ranching mountains. Perfect. Let's see. What else can I show you? Let's see if we can find anything else. That's pretty much it to the history, to be honest. Any other history that I found was pretty just paperwork history, like the borders changing, the region being renamed to, what was it, Zapata? Not Zapata, that was Mexico. I'll have to throw it down there. It started with a Z, I can't recall, but it was one of the, not revolutionaries, but a politician that fought in the Federal War. I cannot recall his name. All I can think of is Zapata, but that was in Mexico and much later in history. Okay, never mind. I accidentally hit something and it closed Google Earth. So I have to cut that out. And I was like, you know what? While I'm here, why don't I Google that? It was Zamora. Zamora, the state was renamed for a brief moment. Because he was from this region, I believe. Let's see if we can find anything else to see. Again, this is mostly just a little farmland. Just trying to find any kind of slideshow to close out the video because there's not much else to show you, to be honest. Let's see, Ciudad de Nutrias. Let's see this little town. Little quaint town, I suppose. Little horses there. And some cows there by the water. Because we're near the Apure River. Oh, sweet. It's a pretty cow. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. I know this was a short one, but ooh, the drill in there. I didn't have much to give you guys. It might be the same for tomorrow's video, although in tomorrow's video we're going to Kenya. I don't have tons of history on this region in Kenya to give you, but the Google Earth pictures are a lot of fun, and there's a lot more than here. So if you like the tablet content, be sure to subscribe because we're going there tomorrow. You don't want to miss out. Let's see. Nope. Is it there? Let's see the city. Oh, how gorgeous. If you learned something new today, give this video a thumbs up. Let me know what you learned down in the comments. And I hope that you found this video to be relaxing and educational. I know it was a short one, but sometimes some of you guys really like the short ones, just a little tidbit. So I do hope you found this video to be relaxing and educational. Isn't that pretty? And I hope that you have a good night. Good night.